Welcome to another episode of the Lovers and Things podcast.
Yeah, where your favorite couple's favorite couple talks about the things they love.
Yes, we do. My name is Lex.
I'm Greg.
And we're so excited to be back with you guys another week talking about all the things that we've been interested in this week. So, babe, let's do a quick check-in. How was your week? How are you feeling?
Oh, I am feeling refreshed, but a little anxious. A little anxious. I feel like summer's it's on its way out.
It is.
And I feel like I have weather anxiety where I like anxiously, while I'm going through that season, think about that season ending. Be like, oh, summer's over. It's July 4th. I'm at the beach. Oh, summer's over.
It's almost done.
It's almost over. I got to milk these days instead of just enjoying it.
Buns out, sun's out.
Yeah. So I'm having weather anxiety.
But
I got to, cherish the fact that September is still a little summery.
It's warm adjacent.
Warm adjacent?
Yeah.
It's still a little summery.
Yeah, don't give up yet. There's still some
time.
time.
I saw those 90 degrees on my weather app, and I was like, oh, we got some mileage left in this tank.
And it's literally September and now.
Right. So it's still summer vibes.
Yeah. Don't give up on summer. I think summer deserves to go all the way to the end of September, especially in the Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got to milk it. We got to milk it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How about yourself?
I'm feeling okay. Just okay. I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's largely due to this cold.
Well, yeah.
I have a cold or recovering from a cold and it doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel good. Yeah. It's like mostly nasally and like all up in here, like the nosy
congestion.
Area. It's so annoying.
Congestion.
It's like the worst time. It's like, why is this happening?
Yeah, but it's like it's on its way out, no?
I think it is. I got like another 24 hours and then I'm back to 100%.
Back in there.
Well, other than that, everything else is going. I do not have weather anxiety. That's not my narrative. But I do have outfit anxiety. I feel like I have a lot of warm related outfits that like I purchased that if I don't wear them
the window's closing.
I can't have my belly out in October. That's absurd.
You could put a coat over it.
I mean, yeah.
Put a coat, and then when you get in the restaurant, you just drop it. Just drop it on the floor, and then someone runs and picks it up off the ground and puts it in coat check for you.
Who's picking it up?
Someone. A person.
Somebody
yes.
Whose job is to pick up the coats.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe I'll do that. But other than that, I'm feeling good. Life's been good.
Good. We just got back from a walk today.
Yes, a walk. You guys, we take these walks every now and then around our neighborhood because, one, our neighborhood is super chill. Mm-hmm. It's a little hilly, so it's a good walk in terms of, like, getting some cardio in, feeling the heart pumping.
Yeah. Activate the quads.
Activate the
hammies. The hammies be coming through.
No, the hammies. Because going back up the hill.
You got to knock on that door. Hammies. Wake up.
Wake up. We're here. Going down the hill, super easy. Going up the hill, not so great.
Yeah.
But so we did that today. We just got back. And it was beautiful weather, though. Speaking of weather.
Nice. Like heavy breeze.
Really breezy. We ran into our neighbors.
Oh, of course.
Which we often do when we leave them.
We love them, but...
We love them. They're such good people.
Some chatty patties.
Yeah, we're one of the younger couples in the neighborhood, and so...
Probably the youngest.
The youngest couple in our neighborhood. And so interacting with these people who have been in the neighborhood for either... I would say the people across the street, 50, 60 years.
Safe to say generations?
Because they have great-grandchildren at this point. So generations. And then people who have been here for like 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. It's just a really interesting mix. Yeah. It's always fun talking to everyone.
Yeah, it's fun. And one of the things is, everywhere we go, there's these popping up of like home renovations that's going on.
Yes.
And it's so fascinating. See what people are doing and be like, oh, look at that one. They're pushing out over the driveway.
Yeah.
They're pushing up into the back.
Yeah.
Pushing up to the front.
Listen, it's magical. And I think for some background, our neighborhood was built in, I don't know.
Like the 40s.
The 40s. And from what I understand of the history, it was a neighborhood that was built for...
returning veterans
from war. Like it was just a place for them to have their starter homes. And so a lot of the homes in our community are Cape Cod style homes from that time, from that era. And so if you guys know anything about Cape Cods, they literally look like a house. If you were to draw a picture of a house, that's what Cape Cods look like.
Like the house children draw with the front,
triangle.
the two windows, the door in the middle. It's peak. Yeah.
Literally, that's what
House.
Cape Cod's a house. That's what it looks
House.
like. But the cool thing about Cape Cod's is there's a first floor and a second floor, but there's opportunity to push out and create more space on the second floor from front to back of the house, and then also on the sides of the house as well. So think of the Cape Cod as like the foundation of what could be a spacious home
Right.
if you were to do the renovations right. And
Yeah,
so lots of people have been doing that in our neighborhoods, and we just like to go be nosy and see what the people is doing.
Some of the things these people are doing.
What is you doing with
And
your
we
house?
we provide our assessments, of course.
Yeah, 'cause judgy.
So I feel
I
like,
need to judge.
there are some people doing great work out there. We're very impressed.
There are some impressive pieces.
They've
for sure.
they've brought to us great work.
Yeah.
This is for our viewing
for our home
and
value.
our assessment. So we we look at it, we say we approve of this work. And some of them we think they could pick up the pace a little bit. They taking a little bit of time. I'm like, come on,
There's this one
on.
house in particular.
you're gonna lose my interest,
Like,
and you don't want
honestly,
that.
You don't want to lose my interest.
Right.
Your neighbor from a quarter mile down the street.
Yeah, y'all doing this for us.
Like, I'm, entertain
Get to
me.
work.
But there's one house that has been under renovation for quite some time, but it started renovations the same time as another house that we love,
Can we compare the two?
and we compared it.
People like, see that one? They dragging their feet.
They're dragging their feet. Is it the funding? What is it?
Yeah, what's going on?
What is it? And on top of that, and this is how you know you're a homeowner, we don't like how they keep the property.
Yeah, you're in the middle of this is a project. This is a work site.
This is worse.
Tidy up, gentlemen and gentlewomen.
Button it
All
up,
y'all,
team.
tighten it up.
Button it the heck up.
This is a work site.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff sprawled out on the lawn.
We don't like that. There's
I'm
a
like,
chair.
You guys got to clean up the shop site, the work site.
Mm-hmm.
This is a safety issue. I don't know what I'm talking about,
No,
but
I mean,
I would like a little
think
bit
all those
more.
things are true.
Yeah, but it's just fun, really, just walking around.
It is.
Jokes aside, I think these people are doing great work.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
And it's very
I would
impressive, and
say.
it's giving us ideas.
Yeah, because our home is one that is like half renovated, if that makes sense. So our home, again, traditional Cape Cod, but the back of it has been renovated so that we have additional upstairs bedrooms with more space and things like that.
Right.
And so looking towards the future in ways that we can potentially expand this house is always cool to see how people have
Yeah,
done it.
and it's like so much like opportunity in these floor plans and the layout of this home opportunity.
Yeah, it's cool. And then in addition to the renovations and all that happening, that's super fun. But then we also like to look into the pricing of all of this kind of stuff because, like, home values post-pandemic, kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a lot of reason why these people are doing these things is because there's a lot of equity in these spots and take advantage of it and build out.
Absolutely. It's so funny. Like the house across the way, like across from us in like over one, it's like a traditional Cape Cod. No renovations, no nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing super special. According to the neighbor T, they haven't even renovated a kitchen or a bathroom since it was built. So
Oh, wow.
it's
It's
like
original.
It's an original home.
Yeah.
And it's sold for what, babe? Something
They
crazy.
up there, like mid 400s, and like I was like,
was it 4? Was it
Yeah.
closer to 5?
something like that, and I was like, oh, okay,
For like a 2-1.
right.
Yeah, 2-1.
No, it wasn't
Yes,
a 2-1.
it was a 2-1 because Connie said there was only one bathroom.
No, it was like a 4-1 because they had all those college students renting it for a while.
I don't think it was a 4-1. I
They
think
had,
it's
like, 4
impossible
college
for a
students in it.
traditional Cape Cod to be 4-1.
I think it might have been like a 3-1 then.
Yeah, at most.
Yeah, but either way,
y'all, you
they
see
found
me.
new life in that one, and they are happy as can be living in that house. I know they were doing some work. Again, untapped opportunity. They did some work
Yes.
on the inside,
They sure did.
but it's great. And I think it's one of the things that stood out to this neighborhood. Like when we were looking for a spot back in the day, all of 1 year ago.
That's right, because if you guys remember, we've
No,
only
it's been
been
2
in this
years,
house.
almost 2 years. now.
Yeah, again, signed December 31st, 2020. Didn't move in until February 2021.
Yeah, and it's like I'd say probably around this time 2 years ago, we went and got a pizza pie and sat at some park, and as we're eating this pizza,
Yeah.
we're like, "Well, that house."
Okay, yeah. So how do we? Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
like,
how we
what
ended
up,
up
my
here.
house? Remember that?
Yeah, this was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this pizza spot that we enjoyed going to because
And it was right
listen,
next to this park.
if there was anything that New Jersey
Oh
gets
my
right,
God.
honey, it's some freaking pizza.
Pizza and Italian food.
Listen,
They know what they're doing up here.
it slaps something different here.
It's them all them nonas.
It's all the
All
all the
them
nonas, the
Them
pizza
nonas,
be pizzaing up
them
here.
recipes carry through.
It's delicious. So we found this one pizza spot that we frequented, and so to Greg's point, there was a park across the street. And so we were eating our pizza,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Oh, this is a beautiful neighborhood. Let's see what the homes look like in this
Right.
neighborhood."
It's like it looks so picturesque.
Yeah.
It's this large open field that's like it's kind of like a basin.
Yeah, it's like
It's like you kind of like you can roll yourself down into
like
the
in
park.
Florida, that would have been a lake, but here
Right. It's just
it's just
land.
an empty
Yeah.
field.
It's so cute. We've taken our dog nephew there.
Yes, our nephew dog
Poking.
Loki. We
Yeah.
take him all the time.
We've taken him there a few times.
We'll bring him on the pod one day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a lot to say. Yeah, and then it was so picturesque, and we're just such in a mood. It was the summer. It's just us.
Yep.
We've been isolating for about a year at that point.
Close,
We're like,
might
why
as
not
well.
just buy a house?
Yeah, we were thinking about it, and we had been in Jersey for a little over a year at that point, so it's like it was time to start looking.
Yeah.
And so we were on Trulia, and we randomly saw a house on Trulia that
Nearby.
was up the street, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, let's see if what's going on with this house. We should just go see this house." We knew nothing about the market, nothing about what houses were cost at the time, like
Right.
reasonably, like what's a reasonable home and all that kind of stuff. We're like, "Oh, let's just look." So that day we called and we got in contact with the realtor.
Yeah.
His name was Frank.
Right. Now I wonder,
And Frank showed us
he
the house
answer the
that
phone?
day.
Like I feel like we called him and he
Yes.
called us back or
He
something like
yeah,
that.
you left a message. He called us back and
Like,
he's like,
10
"Oh."
minutes later.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, are you around? I can meet you at the house." And we're like, "Heck yeah, let's meet him
It's
at
like,
the house."
okay, I guess we're buying a house.
We hadn't been pre-approved for anything.
We were just looking.
We were just looking. And
Kicking the tires, as
we didn't
they
even
say.
realize that like pre-approval was a thing at that. We were
We really didn't know much of anything.
so green.
But what we did know is that we were looking for something that was a vibe.
Yes, we did know that we wanted a nice, quiet neighborhood, something that was family friendly.
Yeah, had some room to grow, like had some bedrooms, and that's something we could use.
Yeah,
And
space.
especially with work from home and whatnot.
yeah.
But yeah, we called him up and met with the realtor, and we just kind of not much came out of it, right? We just looked
No,
at
that
we just
home-
looked at that spot,
And I
and
have a crazy memory, so I remember that home to a T. I
Oh,
remember
okay.
every home we've
This-
ever
this-
seen and what I liked and what I didn't like.
describe this one.
This particular one, it was the home of a daughter of a contractor. And so the home had been updated beautifully on the first floor, the master
It was
bedroom
immaculate.
and the master bathroom on the first floor.
Yeah,
a
because when
smaller
you
yet
open the
updated
door, like
kitchen,
let's walk. Like when you open the door, you're greeted with like a staircase,
a
and
staircase
then
to the right. Yeah, the staircase was to the right.
okay,
And then there was a very small living room
on
to
the
the
right,
left. No, the living room was to the
dining
left.
room on the left.
No, honey, you're thinking of the wrong house. You're not thinking of the very
Oh,
first
I'm
house
probably
we
thinking
saw.
about the Bloomfield
You're
house.
thinking
Probably.
about the Bloomfield house.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about the very first house we saw.
Oh, okay.
But the problem with that house was, even though it was beautifully renovated on the first floor, when you
Mm-hmm.
went to the second floor was like an open space, right? So
Okay.
it could have been an office, could have been a bedroom, could have been a lot of things, but it was an open space.
Yeah.
So technically, the house only had like 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. It
Okay.
looked much bigger on the outside.
Okay.
But it was just like a no for our needs and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But even though the house was a fail, we fell in love with Frank, who was
Yeah.
the realtor,
This
because he
guy
was cool.
chatty. He was, and it's like not like in a bad way, but it was just like, how you just kind of riff off stuff. You just kind of just existing, feeling each other out, and just talking, and you may crack some jokes here and there, but it's like everything is. He was kind of quirky.
Yeah.
He was very quirky and like
Yes.
kind of funny.
Yeah, he was really down to earth. Sometimes you'll come across professionals in the real estate space, and they're like super buttoned up, which could work for a particular demographic. But because we are from Florida, New Jersey, we know no one in New Jersey. We have no family here, no roots here. We're not aware of what communities were good. We're not aware of like what's a good place to be in terms of commuting and stuff. And Frank felt like a realtor / inside friend.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially considering like at that point, we were just like we were saying, just casually looking.
Yes.
We didn't want someone that's going to log our email, send us stuff, text us every 5 minutes. It was just wanted someone that was just like, just show us this property and kind of go at our pace. And he kind of like gave off that energy when we first met him.
Yeah, very chill.
Yeah, and then it was kind of like, it was like, you know, if you do see something, here's our, like, what we're looking for. Here's the areas. Here's the things we're interested in. I mean, sure, you could let us know, but it came out very casual.
Yeah, and I loved that about him. Like, he didn't, we reached out to him probably more than he reached out to us, at least initially, but I think that's a good thing because, like, again, we were trying to figure out, like,
what we wanted. In our pacing, figure out what we're, you know, like our speed at which we want to go about things.
Yeah, because we did our initial due diligence as well, like looking into Trulia and Zillow and places like that to try to get an idea of what we wanted and what was available, like what was on the market for this price. What does it look like in terms of the home? And it was really shocking. Like once you figure out how, at least coming again from the South, how different pricing looks like in terms of homes, like what you get for your money. But once we realized we did need a little more help, we were a little more serious. We had, you know, we're looking at our credit scores and things like that. Things that we could potentially improve to get into a good home at a good rate. That's when we reconnected with Frank, and everything was just like a rocket experience from there.
We got bit by the bug. It was just on.
It was on at that point.
We were on the hunt.
Yeah, it's crazy like how quickly it happened.
We tasted blood.
Yeah, it's
like we were going after. Like we're hitting
all
the pavement.
Houses.
We had the notifications on. It's like we had the screen, all the laptop screens open, and we had windows and tabs.
I was obsessed.
And we were finding stuff. And going after it. And then Frank was just right there riding along with us. And Frank he was a gem. This man, he was so funny. He would take us, every time he would take us to some place or meet us at a spot, he would be like, oh, I just came back from a baseball game. I was coaching a baseball game. Like, okay, all right. And then come back next time. Oh, I was just hosting a quinceanera. I was like, what? Okay, sir. All right. He's like, yeah, and one day he's like, yeah, I was just writing a blog post. I'm a blogger. So, okay.
Frank had 5 jobs.
He had hats.
Frank had, and then one day he was like, "Oh yeah, back in the day, I used to host a night radio show. I used to be a DJ.
Right, he's a radio host.
Franklin, what don't you do?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't." And he was DJing this like he was DJing like house music or something.
It was house music. No, Frank is a vibe.
I was like, Frank, I need to get to know you on a personal level because these skills.
Cool. He was so cool.
So cool. And on top of that, he was a contractor.
And he was
one of the many hats,
which I loved. So whenever we would go into a house, like obviously he did the realtor thing, but then he'd also look at the bones of the house and be like, "I'm gonna be honest."
He'd be like,
I don't know. You're gonna need to fix this. You're gonna need to fix this. This may cost you a little money. I don't know. It was just very cool.
He was like a house whisperer. He would be like, he'd like run a finger along a door frame and be like, not level. It's gonna require 4 more 2x4s and 60 man hours of labor to get this fixed. You don't want to
walk away from that one.
Yeah.
He was really, really great, and I'm thankful that we found him. As one of those things where it's like the stars just kind of align.
Yeah.
And we ended up putting offers on a couple of houses. We missed out on a couple that were heartbreaking. Like some of them, I got really attached, y'all. I got really attached to these houses because I could see us in them. So when we put in an offer and we didn't get the house, I would be crushed.
Every single house we missed out on, thank God.
I know.
Because they were. If you really look back at those houses, they needed a lot of work.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I don't think we're ready
Again,
for that.
we weren't aware. Like, we had all the ambition and all the foresight, and we're able to see ourselves in these homes and how we can make them our own. But then, like, having moved into this house, the one that had very little for us to do to move in, for us to actually love it, I'm like, dang, yo, that would have drained
It would have been a lot.
us.
It would have been a lot because, like, you know, when it's your first home, especially in a older region like New Jersey, you kind of have to kind of like work with what you got, and sometimes the homes haven't been updated in a while, or they're kind of partially updated, or there's some compromise you have to take on your first home. Whereas like some parts of the South, you know, there's so many new properties, you kind of just kind of get in there, or the most you'll have to do really is maybe some cabinets, some kitchen stuff,
Yeah.
maybe some flooring updates or whatever, or some fit and finishing pieces.
Yep. Small things.
But a lot of things up north, because they're so much older, they're like kind of foundational, and like you guys might have to. And also another thing,
Yeah.
some of these houses didn't have AC.
Yo, listen, for those of us who are used to being, you know, crisp and cool all the time,
Via the thermostat.
not in the Northeast, baby.
It's strictly optional.
It is optional. Some of these houses did not have
Central
a central
air.
air. And I was like, absolutely not.
I do not compute. I don't know. How do
How
does
y'all live
that
over
work?
here without it? And
Maybe-
and I'm not a window unit girl. You will never see me in a house with a window
Yeah, I don't know.
unit. Absolutely
It
not.
carry a stigma in the South.
I don't like that.
I'll just leave it at that. so apparently it's perfectly normal up here.
Yeah,
and
it is.
it's no one bats an eye at that. And AC is sometimes considered an optional thing.
Not for us.
Not
but
for us,
some.
because I don't know. It's just it doesn't make any sense to a Florida person
Yeah.
to not have
AC.
central air.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, that was why I kind of was like, ooh, we dodged some bullets with some of these missed
We did.
spots.
The first house we put an offer in on was was a Cape Cod.
Ceilings were too low.
Ceilings were entirely too low. Greg is 6 foot something, and
Yeah.
6 foot even.
6 foot nothing. Just 6 foot.
Just 6 foot. Six
Yeah.
foot even, and it was trouble.
It was.
But I'm
I was like,
5'4",
is this
so I
normal?
was like, it's okay. We can
Yeah.
make this work.
Yeah, and it was like, what? We legitimately put an
We
offer
put
in.
an offer in on that.
Like,
house.
we
Now,
would have
granted,
owned the house. That was a contract, a legally binding document we signed to
in
say we're gonna take it.
retrospect, God is so good because, honey, but the neighborhood was cute.
It was very cute.
And it was next to
a
the
beautiful
crab
home.
shop,
It was a
which I
beautiful
loved.
home.
Beautiful home.
Just a little low
love
on the
a crab.
ceiling, and I think we would have been happy with it.
Yeah, any place we
Right.
would have,
We would have figured it out. We would have enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was one we looked at
Which
that
one was
had
that?
there was one that had a massive backyard.
Oh, this is the one that was in a neighborhood that if ever it comes to the point where we have to move again, I would consider this particular
The neighborhood is beautiful.
It was the Upper Gregory portion of West Orange. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
the
backyard
neighborhood.
had a view of the Manhattan skyline,
I think
so it's
it may
kind
have
of a
been on an
vibe.
acre or so of land, like back.
It was massive.
It was massive, too massive for what we're able
Yeah.
to do.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Lot.
But it was beautiful. But the home itself,
It was like a split level joint.
yep,
with,
it was split level.
It was cozy. I would say like it was
Cozy.
very small and intimate. You could tell like you would have warm winters
Oh my gosh.
because it was so tight.
It was very tight. And it
Had
had
rough.
one bathroom in retrospect.
Did it?
It did. It had the
Oh.
one because we were
One and a
thinking-
half.
Where's the other half?
The other half
that
was
is-
on the
that is half.
like between the garage
Yeah.
and the den.
And we were thinking we could make that half a
Yeah.
whole.
Oh my goodness,
See,
that's
this
another
is how
example.
aspirational
We were
were.
looking at houses. We were like, we would pull out blueprints. We had protractors,
We sure did.
sketching up updates.
Yeah, because here's the thing, guys. Again, in these neighborhoods where homes are older, there's
You have to kinda,
you
like-
don't really find open floor plans. You don't find homes that have like just tons of full bathrooms.
Like to find everything, you'd have to pay so much more.
Yeah, you're talking like 700, 800
Yeah,
million
to
dollar
get
homes at
like
that point.
if you want everything,
if you
all
yeah,
the
if
boxes
you want
checked,
all
all the
things.
boxes checked. You have to have some compromise. But some of these compromises that we were exploring and putting offers on,
Yeah, we put an offer in
we
on
put
that
an
house.
offer on that one.
We
The
were
amount of work
second.
we'd have to do.
Yeah, and we almost got that house. Because remember, Frank had called us. He's like, actually, guys, do you want this house because it's available now? We're like,
Dodged
actually,
a
no.
bullet. Because the
Dodged a
kitchen
bullet.
needed a lot of work.
Yeah, the kitchen needed a lot of work.
Basically, it would need a new kitchen.
Yeah, new kitchen.
It didn't have a dining room.
It did. It was just tiny.
No, it didn't have a dining room.
I called that little area a dining room.
It had like a, you know, when the table, you know, when the bench, like a bench is built into the wall, like a nook.
It was a freestanding
It had like
table, but
it had like
was that.
a table, and then there were like chairs in the wall. So I guess you can call that a dining room.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
it's where
where
you're
you
eating. Yeah. But it's a beautiful home. But that
Beautiful
was
neighborhood.
it required
That
a
home-
lot to start, a lot to get started.
Yeah, that home you buy for the neighborhood more than the house itself because the
Yeah.
neighborhood was worth the price.
And
of
honestly, you
admission.
could push into that backyard because that backyard was endless.
Yeah, it was endless. It's like an acre of land back there.
You could like roll down that hill and just keep rolling.
We would have lost our nephew dog.
Yeah,
back
he would have been
there.
gone. Yeah, so that was one beautiful, honestly, a bullet dodged.
Yeah, honestly, a bullet dodged. And then I think then we made a couple of offers on other homes in other areas that and this is where we started. This is a lesson to you guys. This is where we learned that like you got to play with your numbers when you're going in with an offer. You kind of got to play with your numbers.
It's a numbers game.
It's
yeah.
a numbers game because you think that making an offer feels like a lot of money, but when you break it down in terms of like your month to month and the difference that you would be making between like a $500,000 offer and a $525,000 offer.
Yeah, like 10K differences.
It doesn't
It's
really
like
end up being
over
that
a-
much if you're
a
really focusing
traditional
on your month to month.
30-year mortgage.
Yeah, like it. So
It's like $25, $50. You know, so yeah, it's a numbers game. And I think also we were buying in a seller's market.
yes, again, guys, this is peak pandemic. We started seriously looking at houses in August of 2020, maybe
Yeah.
July of 2020.
Yeah.
And
in
then
the thick of it, the thick of
yeah.
the mass exodus
yes. So if you guys
from the
aren't
New York
aware,
City area.
exactly, yeah, a lot during the pandemic because a lot of things shut down. The lifestyle of New Yorkers and people who had moved to the city for the excitement and the restaurants and the vibes, those vibes got totally shut down during the pandemic. People were afraid to leave their house. Like it was just crazy. And so a lot of people who had lived in New York for a long time started moving their assets, their money over to New Jersey, where they could purchase property.
Yeah, people
and
were looking
have
for more space.
Yeah. looking for more space, more flexibility. People were
Which
working
is essentially
from home
us
more.
too. We
Yeah,
were part
same.
of that. We were in a more of a downtown area of New Jersey.
We were.
And then we wanted to get more space because like we don't need to be this close anymore. So
Exactly.
you transitioned working from home 100%.
Yep.
And I had a flex situation. But yeah, a big part of it was that. So we really had to boil down a very kind of regimented process for analyzing comps, determining our perspective of what this home is worth without having to overpay for it,
Right.
understanding the momentum, being very strict on what our expectations are from a cost perspective as well as from a like where do we want to live here? Does it work logistically and all that stuff? So we were looking at how did it work to get to a train station, and
Yep.
and because that was very important to us because I needed to get into office on at least a weekly basis. My office is in the city, and we also need to make sure that we both had what we needed from like far as office space and space for hosting family and
Yes.
having the appropriate setup for that. And we had a whole process going down for the comps, and we'd look in Trulia, filter by last sold in, let's say 6 months or 3 months, and then we would understand. All right, we'd basically do our own type of valuation of the property we're looking at. And I made this really cool like spreadsheet. Well, I say cool. These are the things that I'm
It was
interested in.
very cool.
Clever. Let's just say clever.
I think it's
Cool
cool.
is a reaching. It's not cool. Cool
It
is
is
like
cool.
like something you like. Like it's not cool.
Oh, fine. It was
clever.
A
It was
it's a
clever.
clever spreadsheet.
Clever. I'm not gonna be at like a lounge and I want to impress some people I met and talk about
It depends on
my
the lounge.
talk about my mortgage cost analyzer. No,
In Midtown, that may slap.
no, no. But basically, like I'm a big numbers guy. I really boil things down to like the I'm very
The
literal.
numbers.
I'm very literal. Like
The
I'm very
numbers.
literal with things. So
The black and white. Greg
right.
likes the black and white.
So this tool, it was really cool in the sense that we were able to plug in numbers
Yeah.
on the fly and to see the cost and the impact and stuff like that.
And it was really helpful for me because I am not a numbers person, right? So for me, understanding like, if we are going in at this offer, because there's a lot of things to consider, right? There's more than just your down payment. There's percentages. It's a whole thing. That's another thing we didn't know going into. Yeah, taxes. And in New Jersey, you get hit over the head a lot with stuff because you can't buy a house by yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you have to have a lawyer involved.
Yeah,
you have to have certain people. The
mandatory and certain types of inspections are
mandatory inspections because the homes are so old here. There's the things you have to pay for.
Like you have to do a oil tank sweep.
Yes, an oil tank sweep. That's a required thing. That's how old stuff
apparently
is.
Back in the day, people fueled the heat in their homes
with oil tanks.
So luckily ours didn't have that, but we still had to pay to have it checked and
so all those
obviously
things
the inspections.
Add up.
So that was like that's my things that I love is like that budget home purchase budget tool where I would plug in home costs or at least the offers that we wanted to make and then boiled it down to, well, if that's the offer, this is our down payment, how much our down payment is, and then what would be our monthly payments according to all that. That spreadsheet did all of that for us.
Yeah.
And we just only had to put a few inputs in, and then it would just spit out numbers, and we go from that. Like, is this a comfortable for our budget?
Yes.
Considering that,
and
considering all these factors and whatnot, and I even had like a part of it that factored in home moving costs.
Yes, exactly. So that's
we had a whole separate
thing that we
sheet,
had to consider.
a
Yeah,
worksheet.
Moving costs, because for me, one of the things that was important was like, if I move into a home, I'm not afraid of the updating process. Like if there's little things here and there that we need to do, but I did feel like that if it was something largely aesthetic, it should be done before we move everything into the home because it just makes more sense.
Because there's nothing in the house.
There's nothing in the house. So for instance, like painting, if floors needed to be updated, if we needed to make any like major thing like that, I felt like that had to happen.
Do it before we move over.
So it was calculated into our overall moving
Right,
costs.
we had that. Also, I've spent many years helping friends load up trucks and wrapping up boxes and carrying stuff downstairs. Back in Orlando, we had like what they call it, garden style apartments where the stairs is just out there. And you're taking those stairs down.
Rain, sleet, or
and
snow.
I, for some reason, always had third floor apartments. I don't know why. But yeah, taking stuff downstairs, and we was like, we're gonna hire movers.
Yes, definitely. We lived on the second floor of our downtown apartment, so we definitely needed someone to help us move all of that furniture. Down the stairs.
That's a whole story in of itself. I don't know if that might. We got time for that, but yeah, that was a whole.
I was over them, honey. I was over them. And this is where partnership in your relationship is so important because my husband was cool, calm, and collected. I had to leave the apartment because I was literally about to go off.
So let me tell you. I'll just get into it because we hired these movers, right, to make our lives easier.
Yeah.
And apparently they counting boxes. They're like, you have 27 boxes. You signed up for 30. So just note you only got 3 boxes left. I'm like, what? 3 boxes?
What the heck?
You have a whole truck. Just put everything in the truck.
If y'all don't fill up that truck and drive down the street.
So, when Lex does not work well with things that don't make sense to her.
No.
Especially when she's spending her money.
Make it make sense, Jesus.
Because she don't...
Make it make sense, Lord.
So now I'm over here negotiating boxes with this man. I had to send Lex down to go to Starbucks. Just go on. I'll deal with this. This man, he's talking to me. I'm like, all right, how much for this one box? If I make this box, if I put everything, these 2 boxes into 1 boxes, What? And I had to negotiate down my boxes from some 30 to down to 28, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Oh.
And then we finally, so then we get them all in the truck. Mind you, this is after like a snow day.
Yes.
So
okay,
when
so
they
that's
pulled
the
this
other
truck
thing,
up,
guys, we moved in on like literally the worst day you
Like,
could possibly move in.
top of February,
Top
like
of February,
snowstorm.
It was a historic snowstorm.
Snow
in New Jersey.
everywhere.
We moved in and what was it, like 2.5 feet of snow? It was crazy.
Yeah, we had to go to the house the night before to shovel a path.
Yes.
Shovel the snow out of the way so there's a path so the movers could actually do their job the next morning.
It was literally 2.5 feet of snow that
at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, the
we
middle
still
of the
have a
night,
video of
us
that.
in our coats, burrowing through the snow because tomorrow we were moving
Movers,
in.
and then we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Before they get there.
Child, it was a lot.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, so we finally get into the truck. Everything is in there.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm like, y'all got this truck.
Right.
Put my stuff in this truck.
And we tell them follow
Yes,
me, right?
Follow us to the new home.
To the new home. So we're in there, we drive in, we get to the house, turn around, movers ain't nowhere to be seen.
Right.
We're like, where the movers at?
Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
Because not only, and this is another thing, not only were y'all making me mad because you was counting boxes like like I ain't rent out this whole truck, but then you disappear with the things that you were counting.
And then I called them, missed call. I'm like, where are these people? I text them, nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And then they call me back. Oh, where are you guys at? We're at Chipotle. I'm like,
I was so over it.
Chipotle. First
I
off,
was
you didn't
so
even ask
over
me
it.
my order. One, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that, Renica. I'm so upset about everything else. Two, we gotta move into this house.
Like, excuse you. Excuse
Chipotle, right now.
And didn't even tell us. Didn't
Right,
even
like,
tell.
okay,
Like,
yeah.
they were just going to arrive
because
later.
you know me. I want a burrito inside a bowl. Okay, white rice, pinto, chicken.
Always chicken.
And that day I was feeling fajitas, so throw some fajitas.
But the
Throw
extra
some fajitas
vegetable.
out there. Hit me with that mild, medium,
Hey, period.
sour cream and cheese. Boom. That's
Boom.
it.
That's it.
That's it.
Nice and easy.
They could have just hit that. Hit me with a taste.
Nah.
What you want. That's what. But meanwhile,
The disrespect. And
Yeah.
so after that, they arrived to the
Finally
house.
arrived.
They finally
Belly's
went this
full.
way. Belly's full.
Happy.
Meanwhile, us, not so much. But let's move on.
Move on.
Let's move on.
I wanted Chipotle, but
And then, whatever. And so then they're moving the furniture into the house. Why
And
they
then-
get the couch stuck
they get the couch stuck in the vestibule.
in the vestibule of our home?
They get the couch stuck.
They get the
They
couch stuck.
they have this bright idea to stand the couch up long ways up, hit the ceiling and all of the vestibule.
Oh, and let me tell you guys, at that point,
I'm
Greg
just
had
like
left.
that. At that point,
Because I think Greg had left to get food or something like that. You had gone
Something.
to get something. So he left me
to get cash
to
probably.
get cash,
Yeah.
right, to tip them. And so
Oh, you call.
So I'm left with, he's like, okay, they're just going to move things in. It should be fine.
Yeah.
Me and my anxiety, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so, of course, then that's when they decide to move in this
cause a
couch.
ruckus.
And then I call Greg and I'm like, the couch is stuck. Come back.
And I'm like, okay, I will be there soon. Just have them move the other stuff in,
Come back
and we'll deal with this
save
couch.
the couch.
So we get there, and then we start fidgeting with this couch to get in, because this couch is big.
Yeah,
It's a big couch.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper sofa.
It's a big boy. So we get in there, and all of a sudden, I hear it yelling, "Baba! Baba!" And then I'm like, what? Apparently, Baba is so there's an old man with them. Two young men and an
this
old
older
man,
guy, which
very old.
I thought it was
You know,
strange
hey,
at
you
first,
know.
but whatever.
You know, there's no age discrimination. You know,
Not
this
at
is all old people get up in there, put that Home Depot waist,
Not the whole Depot.
the waist
thing.
trader,
And get to work, okay?
put the waist trader on from Home Depot with the shoulder straps.
That's right.
That no one ever puts on their shoulder. They
No,
all
it's
have
always,
them hanging.
It's fine.
It's always hanging.
It's a vibe.
Secure that core and get to lift it.
Let's get to work.
But somehow Baba gone missing. His name is Baba. Baba is missing. Baba, where you at?
Literally screaming Baba through
and
the
then
home.
I
And
see
I'm
Lex.
like,
I'm like, Lex, where Baba at?
and I'm like, who is Baba? People are yelling this at me, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Baba's up in the corner. He was off sneaking off on the side, sweeping something.
I know he was shoveling
I think he was trying to take a break.
I think so too.
Trying to take a break. Try to sneak a break in.
He really was an elderly
But
guy.
they needed a hand, and they needed Baba to come through.
Oh,
And he wasn't coming through.
I'm cackling. I almost forgot about that. That was so funny.
But yes, we were finally moved in.
And
it was just been uphill from there.
Yeah,
it's been
uphill from there.
Is that a good thing? Uphill from there?
Uphill.
Is uphill a good thing?
Uphill is a good thing. You don't want it to be downhill.
Oh, downhill's bad. Uphill?
We've been on the up and up.
Strenuous.
Let's just say we've been on the up and up.
We've been on the up and up. It's been good times. Good memories.
Good times. Yeah, moving into the house was fun. I would say our home purchase journey, I feel like it happened so fast, but it happened at the right time. All the pieces just really came together for us, so we're super thankful for that. And yeah, I think, if I had to give any sort of like insight for someone who's buying a home, I would definitely say, like, looking at the black and white of the numbers, like Greg was discussing earlier, is really important to kind of understand, what's a priority to you, right? Like for us, it's our month to month, and that being able to be comfortable, to be able to still live a life while being a homeowner and to have fun. And so that month to month was really important to us. So him being able to create that spreadsheet made things super, super clear for us. Like, this is what's happening. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much how much investment we'll have to put in so that the home is comfortable for us. So I found that to be really helpful. And then additionally, the thing that I loved most, a resource that I used the most, really was Trulia. And I'm sure you guys will hear that and through anyone else who is kind of self-moving through their home purchase journey.
Yeah.
Because for me, the things that were important were the neighborhoods. Trulia has neighborhood ratings. They have walkability ratings.
Yeah.
You can see what sort of local businesses are in your area. Theft ratings, safety ratings, all those sorts of things are on there. You're also able to see how great your neighborhood is for commuting. You guys know, again, that was important for us with Greg going into the city. So Trulia really does, for free, have a lot of resources.
And you can use it for comps.
And you can use it for
because you could change your filter to recently sold.
Mm-hmm. And comps is like
comparables
within your neighborhood to see what other homes in your neighborhood have sold for.
Right. So you can
be informed on what your offer
should be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you do your comps. So you basically change your filter to recently sold. Yep. And depending on the market, you might want to go 3 months if it's very hot. Mm-hmm. If it's a slow market, you go 9 months, 12 months. And the further away like the sales are, like you can if there hasn't been a lot of sales, or at least the longer the house has been on the market, the more you can adjust your offer by. If it's been on there for a long time, like it's a buyer's market, mm-hmm. you could adjust your offer accordingly. Mm-hmm. Then so it's a really good tool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that from a tools perspective,
for sure.
Trulia and our home purchase spreadsheet monster that was such a back pocket companion for us. We just quickly pivot our offers and see the impacts to the month to month.
Yeah, because that's the one thing that you probably won't get from like your realtor or whoever you decide to get your financing through. Like, they'll provide you as much detail as they can, like at the high level, but if you really want to be able to break it down and make those decisions quickly, because also in a seller's market like it has been for some time, like you need to be able to act quickly.
Get them offers out and then make informed decisions on the offer, because those offers are legitimate commitments to 30-year mortgages.
Yes, like if it's accepted,
you're buying a house.
You're a homeowner, babe.
It seems quick. It seems easy. Like, put an offer, but like, you're buying it on those terms.
Like, once you commit to it, you're committing.
Yeah, which we dodge a lot of bullets. Let's just say that
we could have been committed
because we were throwing offers out there. I mean, we were ready, but absolutely. It was like every time we missed an offer, a better house came up.
Yes.
Every time. It was like crazy.
It was.
Until the one we got, which literally needed nothing on the inside. Nothing. No work at all. It was move-in ready.
Yep.
And we moved in, just painted.
Yeah. And I found, speaking of Trulia, I found this house on Trulia before our real estate agent, before Frank did.
Yeah.
I found it when it popped up, and I was like, Frank, what about this one? He was like, oh yeah, I was gonna send it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
perfect. Frank was able to do comps as well. He did. That was a big part of his offering as our realtor. He would our real estate agent, is that he would give us comps to support our offers and have us have an informed decision. So he was quick with those. He would provide those quick.
Yeah, very
but
quick.
it usually is in line with what we saw as well, typically.
Yeah, so being an informed buyer, like doing everything you can to, make sure that you're aware of what's happening and what you're committing to, because it is your responsibility, right? Like obviously trust your real estate agent and get someone that you vibe with, that you can trust, but you have to be an informed buyer when it comes to these sorts of things. And so, using whatever tools that you can to better inform yourself, I totally recommend it, because then you just feel good about your purchase. You're like, you know what, I know what's happening.
Yeah,
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, and if you are looking for a home right now and you're interested in that tool that we're talking about, hit us up and we can get that to you.
For
and
sure.
You could use that to be informed in your purchases.
Yeah, because I think that could be helpful. Because again, like when we were looking, there was nothing like that out there at all.
Yeah, I kind of had to piece a couple things together.
Yeah, the internet don't be giving you the answers for real.
Right, they give you one. They'll give you one answer.
Yeah, you be like,
and you gotta answer a lot of questions at once. But that it was because it was I can do a mortgage calculator, but buying a house is more than just a mortgage.
Way
it was also
more than the mortgage,
moving in costs and all this other stuff. So I had to boil that in, taxes and the different closing costs and all that. And yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah, buying a house is no joke.
Yeah. So things you love. Things we love. What are the things you love about this house?
Oh, what are the things I love about this house? I fall more and more in love with this house the longer that we're in it. I think for me, I love where the house is. I really love our neighborhood. And I love how peaceful it is, yet lively. And I just love where we're situated. The house sits right on the bottom of a smaller mountain. Mm-hmm. And I just love that. I love being able to see the seasons change. During spring, it's super lush. During fall, it's like picturesque.
Yeah, the
fall.
Colors.
Oh my God!
And winter is probably my favorite. We get the snow capped.
Yes, the
on the
snow-capped mountain. We get to see.
It's a vibe.
It's absolutely beautiful. So I love that about the house. And then I also love that the house was. It had all the things that I didn't know we needed, if that makes sense. Like, it had the perfect layout, the perfect way for guests to be able to have their own space on one floor.
Right.
Us to really have a beautiful master area upstairs, a really spacious basement where people have come to love.
Finished basement.
A finished basement.
Yeah.
People just love to hang out here. Whenever we have guests, they disappear into the basement, and honey, that is fine with me.
Right.
And then a beautiful backyard and a deck where we get to enjoy the spring and summer. So there are pieces of this house that I didn't realize would be so special to our lives and our lifestyle, and that's what I mean by I love it a little more the more we sit in it,
Yeah, and your office is pretty dope too.
Oh, thank you. I think your office is dope. We both have our own office, y'all, because we
your office has the view.
Together. Oh, that's true. My office has a higher, more lush view.
Yeah, which the thing that I love is that backyard. Speaking of that view, is we've got these two big boy trees. They are some biggins. Yeah. They're
the kind that you can't cut down because they've been here forever.
I don't think I can wrap my arms around them.
No, they're
huge. Can I wrap my arm around them? I think I could probably.
Nah.
They thickies.
They're big.
Yeah, about 3 C's.
Beautifully big.
2 to 3 C's on that thick. But yeah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They fill the view. It feels like you're in a little oasis of some sort.
Yeah.
But they're a handful in the fall. Oh my God!
When these leaves
trees
come down.
Oh my! Every square inch of that backyard is covered.
Yeah, because when I said we have trees in our
one's
our
an
property.
oak.
Yeah.
And the other one's a maple tree.
Yes, exactly. And then we have trees lining the property as well, which adds to the amount.
They're not even ours.
Yeah,
our neighbor's tree.
Yeah, our neighbor's trees on their property line ours, so that adds extra trees.
Yeah, but I love that backyard. That's the thing that I love. It's that backyard. We have the house came with a deck too. It's another thing that you don't really think that you should be having, but when it comes with it, it's this makes sense. It's pretty sizable too. Mm-hmm. And you just go out there and the wind blowing against the trees, and you hear the leaves rustling against the trees. Really nice. It sounds kind of like a wave, not like an ocean wave, but it's like a
like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sounds like that.
this is an audio platform.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Get into it.
So, yeah, and then you just like it just basically puts you to sleep.
It does.
Yeah,
It's
so that's the
beautiful.
thing that I love that backyard, and it's like, the grass back there is beautiful. It just keeps growing. We have to do much to it. Just grows and stays green, which apparently is a very challenging thing to do. I've come to learn.
Yeah,
Having green grass.
Greg has mastered or is getting to mastery level of yard stuff. So maybe we'll talk about your yard during another.
That's a
podcast,
whole
'cause
nother.
that's funny.
I can dive deep. These are the things you get into. If
Yard
this is my life
things.
now.
The yard.
Yeah, but that backyard is a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
We had like barbecues back there.
Yes,
and
barbecues. Friends have come over. We've done some things, and I think I'm excited. Speaking of the backyard has space, and there's a part of the backyard that has an existing sort of, I don't even know if I want to call it an additional deck.
Okay.
I don't know what that thing is.
Yeah,
back
like
there.
I think it was like a second deck.
Yeah, like a second deck that we want to renovate, and I kind of want to make it like a stone fire pit. I don't know, guys.
Ooh, okay.
TBD on what that looks like.
Love
but,
Island vibes.
Love Island. Love Island.
Mm-hmm.
A new
I don't know if you guys watched
bombshell
that.
has entered the villa.
Yeah.
I got a text.
What's the thing? What's the other one? Last night, or what's the guy? Previously
on Love
Island, like thunder crashes.
Yo, I love Love Island. That's what I love. Things I love. Freaking
Love
watching
Island.
Love Island with Greg.
It's a vibe. I'm just so jealous of them. They're just beautiful people that just
Beautiful young people
sits
that don't
out in
care
the
in the
backyard
world.
all day, sunbathe, work out, and then get dressed to go back out to that deck on the deck and dude just hang out.
And that deck is what's going to inspire our fire pit
Oh
deck
my god!
situation.
Every time I'm out there, I like put on the outfit when I go out on the deck, just because it's like
That's what
just
you
to
must
be like
do.
Love Island.
Just to be like Love
It's
Island.
inspired me.
It really is.
It's
The
amazing.
looks, the
I
deck,
put on a scent. I put on a fragrance,
and a button up.
a button up.
button up.
It's like I feel like I'm like I get a little nervous.
I'm done with you. Thought you get a
'Cause,
little
I'm
nervous.
like the cameras are gonna be on. Like Love Island
Who
season.
knows if it's like elimination
Yeah,
night.
it might be an elimination night. It
Maybe
might be a
elimination
challenge.
night. Might be a challenge.
I got a
I
text.
got- Y'all gotta watch Love
You
Island.
gotta watch
if you're
Love
not, you're
Island.
missing out. It's the UK version too.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
mess
they
with the
do,
US
UK.
version. Trash. UK all the way.
UK.
And the
Yeah.
accents are fun. So, but yes, that's. I think those are the things that we love about the house,
Yeah.
and the fact that we get to make memories, like we just shared, like
Yeah.
Watching Love Island.
Watching Love
Those are
Island,
memories that
Acting like you at Love Island on your deck.
Yeah, those
that's-
are
it's
fun
good vibes.
life memories. So
Good vibes.
And we've only been here coming up on 2 years. So much to do in this home. I'm excited to continue to fill this home with love and laughter and learning and all that kind of stuff. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And I think that's, we have more stories to tell, and I think that's half inspired the Lovers and Things podcast.
Yeah, because there's so much going on.
Yeah. And, there's more to come.
More to come. But definitely, guys, like if you guys have any questions about our home purchase journey, if you have any sort of thoughts, we'd be happy to hear them. And again, if you want to take a peek at our home purchase spreadsheet, finance spreadsheet,
Yeah.
hit us up, let us know, because honestly, it was just super, super helpful. We'd be happy to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. I think that's the episode.
It's the episode.
So fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed talking to y'all. And until next time, of course, if you'd like to keep up with us in between these podcasts that happen every so often, you can follow me, Lex, on all platforms at the Lexicana, TheLexicana.
Yes.
And you can follow Gregory.
Yes. I'm a Greg Style Guide.
Yes, indeedy. You can keep up with us there. In the meantime, in between time.
Yeah. So, keep loving the things.
Yes.
This was the Lovers and Things podcast.
Exactly. Love your things. Love your people, y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Raphael on the beat.
Okay, come on, mama.
You're stressing me out.
It's audio. You just scroll up. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Okay.
but it's such a good intro song.
Yeah, I
Such a
know.
good-
Which is why we should allow the song to do its job.
I'm thinking. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Very nice.
Go ahead.
Stop talking.